Okay, it's June 26th. It's Wednesday, June 26th. It's 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. A little bit after 6. Sorry, we're running a little late, but here we are. We're streaming live, JNO live from the Pacific Northwest. We're in Vancouver, Washington. That's, if you don't know where it's at, it's right across the river from Portland, Oregon. And here comes your host, JohnnyNerdOut.
There was like a second of like a little sneak preview
of you.
Yeah. What's going on, everybody? Happy Wednesday. Hope you guys are all doing good. Got a lot of e-bike stuff to talk about. We're gonna be, joining. We'll be joining you. You'll be joining us via the chat, via call in, whatever you want to do. Answer questions. If you got something that's burning, go ahead and leave a chat. We'd love to interact with you guys. That's what the whole point of this is for. So if you guys are liking this, making sure that you let us know, so we're not wasting your time or our time. Hit the like button, all that jazz. You know what YouTube.
But we do it because we want that YouTube algorithm, right? So if the more we interact with the stream, the more people we can get in here. Bigger the party can get, maybe.
Yeah, Shane was talking about this algorithm.
There's an algorithm.
It's like jazz, and it's like, I don't know what it's all about. But anyways, all right, so we're going to be talking about news. We're going to be talking about what's going on in the shop. We're going to be talking about what's coming up ahead, some things that are exciting. And then we're going to be helping you guys out. So anything you guys want to talk about, e-bike related, hopefully. But not always. Sometimes we do marriage counseling too sometimes here, because a lot of times e-bikes we find can cause a rift in marriages, but it could also bring marriages closer together. So it's interesting. It's almost like alcohol. It could break up a marriage, or it could bring it back together. That's probably not going to catch on as a catchphrase.
What was it?
E-bikes are like alcohol, I'm guessing.
Yeah, they are.
All right. So Shane, are you ready to bring us up to date with what's going on in the news?
Sure. Yeah. Do you want to say hi to everybody real quick?
Can we do a roll call? We got Michael. We got Northwest Metal Bug. Do we get
Mike Warness? What's up, guys? Finally got a live. Got my notification. So. Yeah, I don't know. If you guys hit the bell, right? There's a little bell icon to make sure you get notified.
Even if you don't hit the bell, I think they still passively suggest us. But yeah, if you hit the bell, then it's like, okay, hey, we'll definitely get everybody. I get a lot of people that come to the shop. They'll come and knock on the door. They'll just come in. We got the big door open, and they'll just come by and they're like, "When do you guys do those streams? When are you gonna let me know?" And I'm like, I'm not gonna let you know, but maybe YouTube will or something. But yeah, hit the notification. They're like, I didn't know you did lives, and I'm like,
figure it out.
Yeah. Figure it out, mom.
All right, Vix Pterodix, ahoy! All right, let's do the news.
Yeah.
You want to do that now, or?
Yeah. Why don't you do it though?
You want me to do it?
Yeah.
All right, let's see what we got. So I wanted to start off in Atlanta, Georgia. If you've heard of it, it's in the United States. Anybody from Atlanta?
It's new.
Is it new? Is it a new city?
I think it's new.
It's up and coming. This up and coming city in the southeast? Everything just in the south. Anyways, if you're from Atlanta, what's up? They had a rebate program. Hold on, give me a second. There it is. Here's the article. They had this e-bike rebate. I can't say it. E-bike rebate program.
Purple burglar alarm.
Purple eBay program. Anyway, so they had it. They had 700 rebates available. They got 5,000 applications. I guess that is 1% of the Atlanta population. I don't know who this guy is, but he said, "Great job, Atlanta. Way to do it." Their eBay, their program is kind of cool. Non-income qualified rebates, so just off the bat, you don't have to be broke or nothing. If you buy a standard e-bike, you'll get $500. If you get a cargo e-bike, $1,000.
But income qualified, $2,000.
Yeah,
That's
you get $2,000.
That's pretty crazy. Now, all we need is for that to be applied towards custom e-bike conversions, and you got a real winner.
Yeah. Well, you know what? This alone, like, because I'm like somebody that's like strapped, they're in a tough spot, and they need a car. They need to be able to get around. So instead of going and buying a car,
absolutely, I think it's great. Even though I'm jealous, I'm like, it's not benefiting me and my business. I still think that is awesome. I would much rather have somebody, especially I feel like in Atlanta, where I feel like the weather is more moderate. Like in the winters aren't as brutal. You're not. Yeah. I feel like they don't have a rainy season where it rains for 7 months straight every year. You could kind of ride your bike more year round.
Thunderstorms down there. They get some.
Yeah, but I mean, you could ride through the occasional thunderstorm as long as it's not, like here in the Pacific Northwest, it rains all day, every day. Yeah, it's hard, but so that's awesome. I would much rather see 1 million cargo bikes than 1 million cars out on the road.
Yeah, definitely. So the way that they do their rebate program, you don't have to submit a receipt. Basically, there's certain shops that are participating. So if you're in Atlanta, and also this is closed. So if you're there, like they already
too late.
It's too late, but they're doing it again in August and October. It all depends on the funding that's available. They have to have the money. Like sometimes these cities are kind of greedy and they just hold on to these funds forever. But so keep an eye out again in August. They'll have another round of this. So anyway, so specific bike shops participate, and you go to the bike shop, and right there in person, you get that discount, you get that rebate, so you don't have to submit for it later. You get the money off right at the
awesome.
Counter.
That's cool. I feel like that they at least they didn't mess that up, because I feel like they could have made the paperwork a headache and it would not have actually been useful.
Yeah. Another thing was so. There's nothing, at least in this, because this is Atlanta's like website. It's a .org website, and there's nothing here stipulating what kind of like e-bike or I mean what kind of, like if it has to be
like
a converted
or
like there's no stipulations with like motor power or batteries.
Well, it looks like.
And I didn't go through all of these shops.
I was gonna say it looks like the shops are not doing conversions.
Yeah.
So like I wonder if there's anything written in there that they can't do it, or if...
I mean, look at that. Big Peach Bike and Run. I don't know. So, I mean, like, if our shop was on this list, we could just say that we're sold an electric bike, but it could have been somebody that brought in their bike to be converted. I mean, they just... I don't know. I don't know how that works, but...
I would love to get somebody that's, in the part of the draft making of the bills to chime in and get them on here, either live or do a standalone video. I would really love to do that. I was talking about you earlier. I have a feeling the people that are in the middle of drafting this don't want to be on record, probably. But I don't know. Maybe not. Maybe somebody out there does. Maybe they understand this in and out, and they're happy to speak with it and be on the record, like why conversions are not being covered. But that's my one little gripe. But I think it's still awesome what they're doing.
Yeah, I think it's a start. And
more cars off the road.
Yeah. Which brings us to our next thing. So, Congressional Watchdog launches probe into why massive these headlines, man. So basically, it's just a study about how the bigger the vehicle, the more likely they are to hit a pedestrian or hit somebody on a bike.
They can't see them.
Because they can't see them.
Can't see over the hood. The bigger the car, the smaller the person. You turn into like the grandma that's like can't see over the steering wheel, and you're gonna hit stuff.
Yeah.
So maybe everybody should just be driving around in Miatas.
Yeah.
And nobody would die.
I mean, I don't know. Big trucks are cool though, vroom vroom. But yeah, so basically that's it. So the numbers show the bigger the vehicle, the more likely to
So if you're riding your bike and you see a big vehicle, try to steer clear of it.
Unless you're like trying to like maybe get a little money, gonna do a little lawsuit.
Not die
in
the process.
I mean, I don't know. Would you break a leg for?
I like driving in front of Miatas. Whenever I see a Miata, I get right in front of it.
I hold on to the back.
Skitch it. You go skitching.
Yeah. So, anyways, there's some graphs in case you need them, but other than that, I don't know.
I have some graphs to back up that.
Yeah.
All right. What?
I didn't read the article, but here it is. So, what was this sentence they used? One study estimated that 18% of pedestrian deaths could be avoided just by capping the hood height of passenger trucks and SUVs.
Because you're getting thrown above it and getting cartwheeled.
Yeah, here's the strike zone. There's the vital organs. I like this graph actually. At least with these other cars, you only break your legs. Up here though, you're like hurt your lungs. I don't know. Just watch out for those big vehicles, and if you're driving one, just keep on trucking. Be careful.
Keep doing what you're doing.
Oh my God, what is this ad on here?
Oh my God.
Okay, Arizona might have accidentally made it illegal for kids to ride electric bikes. That's all I got. I didn't. Did I read this article?
He's a headline reader. So what did you said they outlawed it from like 12 to 15-year-olds?
So let's see. Yeah, on accident. So they were talking about.
How'd they accidentally do it?
So electric bikes fall under the category of off-highway vehicles. So they were making it so that kids need to get a driver's license, probably for like dirt bikes, quads, like those like off-highway vehicles. So somewhere the e-bikes got put in that category of it being an off-highway vehicle in was this Phoenix? Somewhere in Arizona. So now, as of right now, or as of this article, which was published 2 days ago, kids 12 to 15 need a driver's license to.
Well, it sounds like even below, because if you need a driver's license, even if you're under 12, it should just be under 15 or under. If you don't have a driver's license, you can't. You need a driver's license to drive an e-bike in there. I think more. You're going to see this more and more. I think you're going to see it a lot more.
Critics argue that the law needs clarification to exclude certain e-bikes to avoid unintended consequences.
Yeah, I don't know. We talk about this every week, where it's like, do we want to legislate it? Do we want to make
this one was just funny, whoopsies.
Yeah, sorry, but
All right, we'll make this one quick. Ukraine is getting. They got these. This is the e-scooters, just off to war on the front lines. I guess they had them once. They're sneaking around.
I wish those things had lime. Were lime scooters. I really wish those were like bright. Yeah.
Is that what you're expecting? I mean,
they had like a rental counter thing on it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So they're sneaky and stealth, and they're getting around, and this is Ukraine's doing it. They want more. They're requesting more. So
I mean, they're cheap, right? I mean, I'm sure they're cheap vehicles, and they probably do 60, 70 miles an hour. They can get in and out.
Are these electric?
Super agile. No, those are gas.
Yeah. Anyways, and then we could go to the next one, which is High Power Cycles announces formation of Defense Division, unveiling of the fastest factory military-grade electric bike ever, and strategic leadership expansion. I didn't read this article.
I saw this,
John
and I kind of was like, what? I kind of chuckled because I was like, wait, what? Like
this guy.
I'm not 100%. He must have like an in, because I think they got like a new CEO or something like that. And I think he must have like an in with the military or something, and he must be trying to sell it there. But I'm not 100% sure. I don't know. It's kind of funny. It seemed like more of like a marketing thing. Like, I wonder if they're actually going to sell any to the military. I kind of doubt it, but it seems like more of a publicity stunt. But maybe not. I don't know. Maybe they got an in with the military somewhere.
All right, so that's it. That's e-bike news.
Okay.
That's all I got.
All right. I guess no big news is still good news.
That was all good.
No, big news is good
Honestly,
news.
I don't think there's ever any
big news.
Big e-bike news.
If Trump gets like injured on an e-bike, that'll be big news.
That'd be funny.
That'd be big
That'd be
news.
fun. I don't know. It would be funny if that's how Trump and Biden debate in like an
on e-bikes.
On e-bikes, and they both just fall down.
Maybe. I don't know if that's gonna happen.
It'll happen.
Okay.
Let's see what's going on in the chat.
Yeah, let's see. You got anything going on there? Oh, there we go. We got the chat going up there.
James Harrison's here. Hey, James. Welcome. Austin, do you have a particular system you recommend for recumbent bikes? It's a question from Austin Hackert.
It always depends on... For recumbent bikes, my default probably is going to be the Bafangs, because I feel like they're just built really good for it. But if you're looking for that torque sensing motor, it kind of depends on what kind of riding you're doing. I'm like, if you're just looking for light riding, you could go with the DMO2. You could go with the Photon. It also depends on the recumbent, because if you got a bike E, you have to go with the CYC Stealth or the X1 Pro, because it's got that weird frame to it. But I'm assuming you're talking about a standard recumbent bike. Yeah, you could go with anything. It just depends. I would need a lot more information, like what kind of range you're looking for, what kind of power you're using. Do you have hills? If you're looking for something that's going to be using a lot of power, probably looking at a Photon or a DMO1. Just because if you're going to be punishing it, you want something that can handle that power. But if you're just looking for something lightweight, yeah, you can go with a DMO2 or even a Photon would be fine.
So wait, you've named like every motor.
I know, but
what would you?
It depends on what he's looking for.
SO2? Oh, it depends on what you need.
I mean, it's so hard. It's like, what's a good motor for this? But it's like, well, what are you? If you're looking for something that, if you're on a recumbent because you have mobility issues, I'd say go Bafang. Because those cadence sensors are better for, like, if you have mobility issues and you need to rely on the motor more, I'd go with the Bafang.
I think this is a perfect segue to let you know that we do consultations at JohnnyNerdOut.com. You scroll down here, you could talk with Johnny or me, and you could talk about your recumbent bike and what the best setup is, and make sure that we get all the parts that you need.
Yeah. Actually, you brought this up, and I have a whole segment for shop news too, but I was gonna say.
Oh yeah, talk about the shop news.
Yeah, we could talk about shop news after this, I guess.
Okay. We got a couple other comments.
Let's get to them.
M. Myers, my BBSO2 mid-drive has been wonky lately. It cuts power on and off periodically. I live in Vegas and ride during the day when it's hot. What are the temperature operating ranges of the O2?
It's a great question. I don't know off the top of my head, but they're pretty good. Unless you're riding in Vegas if you left it out all day and you're going out at like 3 o'clock and it's been baking in the sun all day. Bacon and eggs.
He says he got his up to 120 degrees.
That's not very Celsius or Fahrenheit.
Fahrenheit. So that's my Photon, I can get it up to like 200 sometimes.
Yeah. I think you
like not on purpose, but
yeah. And also, is your power cut off? Is it total power loss, or is it like just the motor kicks off but your display stays on? Oh, just lowers power, not cut out.
It cuts power on and off periodically.
You may need to. Sometimes those motors can get a little wonky. I've heard people say like after a couple of years, like power starts like changing, and I've noticed like their settings, like there's like it just feels different. Even Whitney, my wife has said that a few times, and I've noticed that on low power, like when your battery's getting low, sometimes it can start messing with like there's just no assist, or it's acting wonky. Double check to see if it's just happening when you got low power, but otherwise you might want to go into the programmer, and you got a little bit of a window creeping into our window. Do you see that? You got another window creeping in there?
No, that's just your screen.
That's just my screen? All right. Yeah. there's butterflies everywhere.
Yeah.
So check with that. Otherwise, you might want to go into the programmer, go to the pen off, and maybe just go in there and tweak a couple settings. Just make a couple small changes and kind of reflash it to kind of reset it. Sometimes that fixes it. It's kind of weird. Sometimes there could just be some ghosts into the system.
So Metalbug was saying that the Stealth lowers the power once it gets 94 degrees Celsius. So that's what the Photon...
CYC does that. Yeah, CYC has it programmed in there so it'll lower the...
Which is kind of cool, because I mean there is times, there's days where I'm booking it and I want all the power, and then, like I know that coming up I'm gonna have like a downhill stretch where it's like I can put in a bunch of power, heat up the motor, and then I'll take time to let it cool down. And it cools down pretty quick.
Yeah, it does.
The Photon's got like that heat
good
sink.
fins. It's got good fins on it, the heat sinking. And if you're cruising downhill and you're getting all that air moving by it, it will cruise pretty quick. I do like that it cuts off power too, because I'd rather have all the max power, but not damage.
Power.
Yeah, lower the power so that I'm not doing damage to it. I don't want to burn up my motor.
Oh, Todd's in the chat saying that he's hanging out, waiting. He's waiting for his mule.
He's what?
His mule.
Oh, Todd. Yeah, we're building you a mule. I'm like, wait, what?
A mule guy. I overheard like you guys' conversation, and John, it's like, wait, you think you're getting like a mule from us?
Yeah.
Like,
We're not talking an actual mule, right?
Because
He
we're
was talking
all out
about
of
his
mules.
mule. Yeah, he's like, I used to have a mule, and those things are awesome. So I want them. I want an e-bike mule, and we're like, we'll do it. We'll build you one.
One more thing, Darren. Thank you. Thanks for the consult today. I think John says you're welcome.
Oh yeah.
There was somebody else that said that they love their Lucky. What's the new throttle? The
Pacemaker.
The pacemaker. Someone says they're loving it. I'm
cool.
wondering if you got did you get the regular grips?
The firm, I think
The firm
probably.
grips. Yeah.
Yeah, I did a consultation with Darren earlier today, and it was kind of so he's got a Photon, and he's trying to build one for his wife, and he's like, she's not crazy. It's not like a crazy rider.
She's not a crazy.
She's not crazy, I swear. My wife's not crazy. But he's like, should I get a Photon on hers? Because I got a Photon on mine, or do I go with the DMO2? She wants torque sensing.
Yeah.
And he's kind of torn. Because I'm like, DMO2, you can get 3 of them for the price of a Photon. But I'm saying if you already have a Photon, you put another Photon on there, you have 2 of the same system. So if you have a failure on one bike, you could use parts across the one to kind of troubleshoot to find out if you have a problem. It's good to have 2 of the same systems just to make your life easier to troubleshoot any problems if you ever have one. Or if you get one accessory that you really like or one that your wife really likes, you could get another one for that. It's the same thing. You'd have the same bike, and it's kind of nice to have the same setup on if you're a partner, if you're building one for someone else. It's nice to have the same setup.
So what's going on in the shop?
All right, go.
Are you already thinking about it?
No. I just like how that's a nice segue. All right, we'll move on to
Did you have more to say?
shop news.
Did you have something else?
Do you have more to say, or can you move on to the shop news? Okay. Yeah, on the shop news, you brought up consultations. Yeah. And it brought up that booking consultation screen. And I'm trying to work, me and Shane have been trying to work on how to get e-bike rentals offered this year. Because there's not a lot of people offering e-bike rentals in Vancouver. In the Portland area, there's a couple, but I don't know if anybody's renting mid-drives. So we're going to be hoping to try to be doing one of the first ones to be renting out mid-drives. So that'd be kind of cool. So that just made me think of that. We're trying to figure that out and get that hammered out. But yeah, we're going to be offering rentals here soon. People have been asking me, when's the 2.7 motors coming in? We've been sold out of those for a little bit, and I've been working with them to try to get more motors in stock. It's just been slow going, but the tracking number just got updated today. Finally, it went live after like 2 weeks. And it says that they're going to be arriving on Saturday. So that will be good. So if you guys are wondering, Saturday is when the motors will be arriving. However, JohnnyNerdOut, we're going to be closed next week. We're going to be observing the 4th of July by observing the country's birth date by closing off.
No stream next week?
No stream next week.
No stream next week.
So no stream next week, guys. Take off, enjoy it, be with your family.
Get all your
rockets.
griping in right now.
Yeah, and then save it. And then do your bottle rockets instead. So we got 2.7 motors coming in on Saturday, DMO 1s and O2s, and some more accessories. CYC motors should be coming in about 2 to 3 weeks. So if I'm out of stock on something that you want, we still have a few CYC motors. I think we still have a few Photons. I think we might be out or low on the 68 millimeters though. Those are the most popular ones. But we're going to be restocked on all the Photon, Stealths, X1 Pros. So in about 2 to 3 weeks, we're going to be up to date on those. That's pretty much all that I have for coming in. But I did want to talk about something kind of embarrassing that I feel like I should have known that I didn't. And one of our dealers reached out to me and was like, thought they had a problem with one of the batteries we were selling because it was only charging up to like 53 something volts. And I was like, oh, yeah, I'll send you out a new battery. I'll get you a refund on that. And then I reached out to my supplier, and it turns out that I didn't know this, but if you charging a battery and it's set to off, it will only charge it to about 90%, about 90-95% for the batteries that you buy from us.
Just Shark. Do you think it's all like the Shark style batteries?
I think so. It might be all the Sharks. It might be all of them.
Yeah.
But if you charge it while it's on, it'll charge 100%. Because I've always just had people, hey, should I charge it on or off? And I was like, doesn't matter. It's going to charge. Just doesn't matter. It's going to charge 100%. Not so, apparently. I had no idea. Nobody ever told me until we figured this out. So if you charge it while it's off, and these are only to the batteries that we sell. Might be to other ones, but
learn something new every day.
Yeah. So if you only want to charge it to 90%,
even you,
I felt like a fool. I didn't know that.
You look like one too.
I know. And the other thing I wanted to talk about the 2.7 motors, the LCD 135 and the TS 35. This is kind of weird with 2.7.
Those are the displays.
Those are the displays. Those ones, I should have one here so I could show you. It uses its own wiring harness. Like the wiring harness is essentially built into the display. So the display plugs directly into the motor. There is no wiring harness. The brakes and the throttle plug directly into the back of the display. So on the back of the display, there's 3 plugs.
All right.
Is that you?
Yeah, I accidentally. Hold on. There you go.
Think of that?
Sorry.
So you plug the brakes and the throttle directly into the back of the display. It's kind of weird. And I had no idea about that. And there's a version of Tongsheng that does that too, where the version of Tongsheng, I ordered a batch of Tongshengs and they had the same thing. They're square, like white connectors.
Yeah.
Except they're not compatible with the Tongsheng one. So the Tongsheng is a very similar one, and I had a bunch of I'm like, I'll just use the Tongsheng ones. They're not compatible. Tongshengs are square. These 2.7s are slightly rounded. Super frustrating that they can't have like just a standardized thing. So anyways, if you're thinking about getting a 2.7, if you want to get the LCD 135 or the TS 35, you need to, it's not like the standard stuff. You plug it directly in there. So just FYI, they're nice displays. The TS 35 is a nice display, but it's like this whole thing you got to do. You got to get a different set of connectors and stuff for it. It's really annoying. But maybe it's not a big deal. Maybe I'm making a big deal out of it because
you're making a huge deal out of it.
I know, and I'm like, if you're okay with it, it's
I mean, if somebody orders that display, just get the parts.
Yeah,
they probably they won't even think about it.
They won't even think about it probably.
You're getting all worked up.
I know.
Over nothing.
But it's good to know. For
and the more you know.
Yeah.
Anything else? Well, real quick, while we're talking about 2.7s, because James Harrison said next time you talk to 2.7 to let them know that we need some narrow wide offset chain rings.
Yeah, I'm trying to remember my conversation with them back in December, if that was ever going to be on the docket or not. There's been some confusion with them. I have some 38 tooth chain rings on there, and on my latest invoice they have 36 tooth written, and I've seen other dealers list 36 tooth. So I don't know if they're going to have a 36 tooth and a 38 tooth, or if the 36 tooth was a misprint, they're only keeping 38. I don't know. They're going to have a lot of more chain rings coming out, I think, but
yeah.
I don't know. 36 and 38.
Penguins here. Sounds like less cable management with those types of displays.
You know, you're right. You're totally right. I was envisioning that. I'm like, so it's gonna come out of there. It's gonna look weird, but yeah, that totally will be a lot less cable management. That is kind of nice.
There you go.
Way to see the pro on this. Okay. Because for a while I was like, I'm not carrying this. I got to carry all these other stuff, and this is stupid. No one's gonna like it. Okay. It is more work for me because it's more SKUs and it's more ways that I have to help. Obviously, the people who are watching this, you guys know. You guys are in the know of all this stuff. But 95% of my customers don't watch my lives. You know, they're not privy to this information, so they just assume that it's going to be the same as everything else. So it will be a little bit more work for me to clarify on the website. So when they order that, but you're right. I think maybe it is. That could be a good.
Can you ship to the UK?
We can, yeah, just not batteries.
It's not batteries.
Yeah. It's a little, I don't like shipping to the UK because it's a lot of waste. You know, it's kind of, we're shipping from China all the way here. So you got all that jet fuel coming here. And then we're going to ship to UK. We're shipping all of it. It's like, it's kind of wasteful.
So you're saying we can, but you can find somebody else.
If you can find someone closer, it'd be a little bit less wasteful, you know?
Yeah.
I'd hate to turn down the business.
I mean, do you have recommendations for I think
AliExpress, is like.
You shouldn't be telling people buy off AliExpress, right?
I think that's the only one that's selling 2.7 motors.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I don't know if there's other dealers out. anywhere else.
Okay, so I'm not talking just specifically 2.7 motors. I was just in general.
Oh, in general, if you're in, I mean, there's PSW power. That's
also, this was a question from Los Bastardos, MTB Glasgow. So just also if we don't ship, so like with batteries, who do we usually point for batteries?
For batteries, EM3 EV,
Yeah.
they're a good place. I would buy them if I was anywhere in Asia or anywhere over there.
Yeah.
I would be buying from EM3 EV. I used to sell their batteries. It was just logistically, it kind of became a hassle. I may consider carrying them again. I don't know. I have a really good battery supplier right now, but EM3 EV is great. Yeah.
And if you like do a consultation with us or whatever, we can help like pick out what battery.
Yeah.
Make sure you're getting the right one for whatever your setup is. Michael Sprinzell says he got his HD in.
Oh yeah, I wanted to reach out to him.
What's the biggest ring you'd use with a 34 tooth granny?
The biggest? It would depend on your riding style. If you got a 34 tooth granny gear, that's like medium. It's not like a tiny one. Like a lot of road bikes have a 28 tooth for the granny gear, which is not much. But the mountain bikes, like that one that we were riding today, has like a 51 tooth. So 34 isn't like anything crazy. It just depends. You're in New York, so you don't have like mountains really, unless you're taking it up to like upstate New York. I would say 46. You could probably go 46 without problems. It all depends on how you're riding it. You could go 52, and as long as you're not putting crazy power to it immediately and building up that heat. I would need to know more information. But for you, Michael, I would say you could, with the 52, you could go 46, possibly even 52. Just don't go crazy power like mass throttle all the time. But I did want to talk about more shop news about the bikes that we had.
Bike?
I want to talk about that bike. I'm still thinking about it.
Let me set it up. What is it? What is the bike?
Oh man, I forgot. It's why don't you go take a look at it? I'll talk about it. If you want to go pop your head in there, can you read it? You got your glasses on.
Oh my god.
So we've got this full suspension bike, and we're doing a custom build for this guy. And we've done X1 Pros before, but we're doing an X1 Pro in this one. 72 volt X1 Pro. It's a full suspension mountain bike. This one might be
Siskiyou?
Oh, the Siskiyou, yeah. It's the I think it's a Bikes Online bike.
Dual suspension.
It's a nice bike. It's a full suspension, top spec, pretty much front to rear. It's got I think it's a 51 tooth granny gear. And we went with an X1 Pro, smallest chain ring, 32 tooth. So it's geared for torque. It's geared for acceleration already. So it's a 32 in the front, 51 in the back, 72 volt, and I think it's got an 80 amp battery on it. You got it from Bicycle Motor Works. So it's putting out the full 80 amps that motor can put. It's scary fast. It's scary fast. Did you put it on the highest pedal level when you rode it, or did you just put it on 2?
I got to 2. Yeah.
Okay.
I mean, like if you hit the throttle just sitting still, like it like launches, and the first level.
Even in the lowest pedal assist level, the lowest power level, you put on throttle was about maximum that I would recommend anybody doing. I started it on 3, and I could not. If I hit the full throttle, which I would only do it for like a half a second, I was leaning all the way over it. I could not keep it from that front wheel from. It would have bucked me off if I were to lay on it. Yeah. And I was like literally going as far forward as I can. I mean, it gets your heart rate going. That was a fun bike.
It's gonna take some work to tame that. Tame that dangerous beast.
Yes, I almost need my customer to like sign a release saying like, I know this is an insane build. This is insane.
So that's the folks. What's the bat? Do we talk about the battery that's on that bike?
It's a 72 volt 10 amp hour. It's a Moly cell battery.
So are you saying that gave it like extra, like they're like performance cells?
So
Moly cell.
I think that's the cell that's in it. They can put out a lot of amperage, but a lot of it comes down like all these cells can put out the power. It's the BMS. Yeah. So I think Bicycle Motor Works I have to double check. I don't know because my customer just sent me this battery. I didn't order it. But I think it'll put out the full 80 amps that the X1 Pro will pull. And so it's at 84 volts, fully charged. That's going to be like 6,400 watts. Like, it's going to be crazy. And the thing...
On a mountain bike, how much did that weigh? Like
It's going to be like 50 pounds. You're going to have like a 50-pound mountain bike.
You take it on the highway.
With like 8 horsepower. That's like, the horsepower to weight ratio is insane. I mean, that
you're
sound.
Sweating. You're sweating.
I'm thinking about it still. I'm just thinking about that reaction of like, I mean, it was like angry. It was so powerful.
Yeah.
It was so crazy. I want one now.
Yeah, there's one sitting right there.
But I don't want one for the road. I know that would just be trouble. I want one for an OHV vehicle.
You care if we take a look at Discord real quick? We got a couple bikes. Yeah. You can still talk about whatever you're talking about.
Oh man, I'm gonna be talking about.
Keep going.
I'm gonna be talking about this Siskiyou.
Oh, here's Darren.
Oh, cool.
Oh, so this is his bike. He's completed a photon build from last year.
So he built one. Yeah, I guess he built one from before.
That looks fun.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've seen these frames.
I like those Electras. Those are nice. They're just nice bikes. Oh, that's a cool rear rack too. I like.
And look at the back. Like, you can barely see that this is the motor's sitting in there.
Photon. It doesn't even look like
the battery.
It doesn't even look like an e-bike. Like that's an excellent job.
Yeah. Nailed it.
I know. And it's weird seeing this because he was describing it to me when I was talking to him, and I'm like, oh, you paint a picture in your head, but this is way different. I love that. First of all, I love the seat. That looks like a Brooks saddle, I want to say.
Yeah. Yeah, look at the springs on it.
I love it. That looks awesome. And I love the rear seat for a kid. You put a kid on there, and it's got a little handlebars on it. That's awesome. Well done. Was that a stock?
Or like a light adult.
Yeah.
Don't have to be kid.
Like a young, lightweight, inebriated adult.
I don't think age matters. I feel like
that's true.
There's different weighted people
drunk,
of different ages.
An old drunk lady can totally sit on the back of it.
As long as she's drunk.
Yeah.
As long as it's a drunk kid.
Just hold on there.
All right.
That's cool. That's a very cool bike.
All right. And here's Penguin working on their bike.
Nice.
Cool. Oh, it's a State.
Did
you work with State?
Yeah. Penguin's the one who got me onto the State train. And actually, for Todd, we're building a State fat bike, the 6061. The mule. We're building a mule for him out of their fat bike. So I'm really excited to get their bike in here and get some hands-on stuff. I really liked the State stuff, and Penguin was saying that they were impressed with the bike that they got. So that's why I was like, all right, let's do it. From what I saw, I really liked it too. So
these pedals. I like a little bit of color. I don't know. My bike's all black, which is fine. It's cool. It's stealthy looking, but my next thing I'm gonna get a little pop.
You could paint your frame.
I know. Don't tell me what I could do.
You can do it. I'll tell you what you can do. I'll tell you what you're capable of.
What I can and can't do. What about the bike find?
Oh yeah, let's. We got a bike find. So I think you guys this will be interesting. Let me know what you guys think of this bike find.
Neighborhood bike finds.
Okay, this is a first. We're doing a pre-made e-bike build. This is the first. This was brought to us by a commenter on a short video that I posted last week, and somebody put this up here, and I was like, wow, this actually is I'm impressed by this. $1,300, and it's got a Bafang Ultra mid-drive on it. The mid-drives alone are like $700. I think this is on clearance, and I have some theories as to this. I think CSC may have over-ordered these bikes big time.
Oh, really?
I think a lot of places did this. And this is why you're seeing a lot of... And I'm not saying that CSC is going out of business, because they have a very successful motorcycle brand that are kind of knockoff. They're straight from China motorcycles.
Sticking around to help if there's any parts or service issues?
I have no idea. I don't know. Maybe they might be getting out of their e-bike business or not. But you're seeing a lot of people over-order because of COVID. There was so much demand, not enough supply. And then it took a couple years for everybody. And then they over-ordered, and now demand is kind of tapering off. But demand is so high. And that's why you're seeing a lot of brands go out of business. First thing, whenever somebody brings me an e-bike to work on it, I always ask them, is this place still in business? 50-50 chance if they're still in business or not. Hopefully they will stay in business. At least they're using Bafang. They're using, looks like the DPC-18. They're using stuff that's, they're not using proprietary stuff. $1,300. If you need a mid-drive fat bike, this is about. I can't build anything this cheap. So, I would probably upgrade the fork or not. But
where's the specs over here?
So we'll see. The M620 Bafang motor there. It's got hydraulic brakes. I mean, I'm actually pretty impressed with this on paper. I don't have one of these in
What's his bat? I'm just looking for the battery.
Oh, right there, 48 volt, 16 amp hour.
Oh, okay.
So a decent sized battery, 768 watt hours. It's a pretty decently spec'd bike.
Oh yeah, this person said shipping is $300.
Okay, I'm sure you could pick it up from the California location too.
Use the $300. Go fly.
Yeah, ride it home.
Go.
So we'll see. So thank you to the commenter who posted that. Hopefully that'll help somebody. You know, I think I'm usually never in-store pickup. I'm usually never one to promote anyone, but this is a good deal. So you're welcome, CSC. We're not taking any commission on that at all.
So I mean, and I think I sent over an email with that. I'm not gonna. We don't have to like talk specific about that bike company. But there is some like good, like if they're putting mid drives on the bikes and they're like.
No, I mean you can mention it. I wasn't like nothing about it was like whoa wow. It was kind of cool they were using belt drives.
I mean so it was a belt drive and a mid drive and an internally geared hub.
But it was $3,000 and it was a small battery.
It's expensive, yeah.
Yeah, it was a small battery. Like for what you're getting. So like what I always like to do is okay, let's take the components, just write it down, and then. So you're saying this. I know how much an internally geared hub is. I know how much this is. I know how much the battery watt hours. Add it up. I mean, this is the whole point is like I want to educate people on how to do that. So whether you know whether this e-bike is a good deal or not. Add up all the components and then what's the leftover? Minus that from the price, what's the leftover? And you could say, all right, is that leftover enough for me to buy this? If it's $200 left over after you added up all the components, it's probably like $200 isn't that bad of a deal.
Yeah.
If it's $1,500, you could be like, oh man, it's $1,500 enough for me to. If it's $2,600, I mean, we've done how much should this bike cost segments on certain bikes.
Do you care if I'm gonna pull that bike up?
Yeah, that's fine. And where it's like $3,500 left over, and you're like, what are you getting for that $3,500?
Did we at Micromobility? There was somebody there that was showing a belt drive.
Mm-hmm.
What was it?
Veer.
What exactly? What was different about it? It was
a 2-speed. It had a built-in physical 2-speed into the. So the cog in the rear it was a 2-speed.
Oh, right. Okay. So like the belt itself is moving.
So you could essentially times that. So if you had an internally geared hub that was like a 7-speed, you would get 2 times that. So you would have a 14-speed, which I think is not necessary, but.
So I mean, it'd be cool. I don't know. Do we have? So I know you have that one bike.
Well, that's a hub motor on that one. They did have.
Is that a hub motor? That's
a hub motor. Oh no! You're right.
Yeah,
no, you're right. That's a Enviola. Sorry. Yeah.
You have the one bike that's got the
3-speed.
The belt drive.
3-speed
right?
belt. Yeah.
So what did you use? Was there like a kit for that?
I just put a Bafang on it. I still need to. I think I put the HD on it. That one has the sidetrack. The Gates sidetrack, which is a little bit less. I should have done a little bit more research. That's a project that kind of went to the wayside. But I think I might need to put a BBS02 on it because the chain line isn't out as far in the BBS02 than it is on the HD.
So this bike, I mean, I rode it, and I mean the mid drive is good, but I mean just switching gears, and it was doing it automatically. So there was I wasn't changing. So it was like an automatic. And it was
transmission.
Yeah. It was nice.
Yeah.
Like I was flying, I got speed pretty quick, and
I think that is very cool. All I know is my 3-speed belt drive cost like $500. I think it's from Priority with everything built in, like everything ready to go.
So that's the motor. The motor.
Now the motor. Oh. So it was a $500 bike.
Yeah.
You put in $600 motor, you're at $1,100. You put in another $500 battery for something big, you're at $1,600.
And that's including the cost of the bike? So
yeah. Right. So a $1,600 bike for a 3-speed.
So you could build it. That's why I wanted to look at this is because I think it's cool.
It's not apples to apples though because the bike that I have there has rim brakes. So that's a big thing. Yeah. I'm not saying you can get a belt drive bike with disc brakes for I'm sure under $1,000. Yeah. I think Priority has a bunch of them. There's a few. But then it just kind of depends. I mean, you got to factor in what's the cost of that hub. I don't know which hub that is, but it's probably like it could be a $300 hub. It's probably not just a super cheap one. It's probably a good one. But the motor, it looks like it was a 650 watt motor. I think the battery was a little small.
Enviolo?
Yeah, Enviolo.
So
there's a couple low end specs that I was like, I kind of wish they went bigger on that.
I was talking to these guys. And we all say things to sell stuff, but the idea that bike chains were not ever meant for the amount of power that's being put out through the motors.
I think that's a salesman thing.
Yeah,
that's what
it's a strong statement. I mean, there is like moments of that where a chain's gonna break. Just maybe somebody that's new using.
Yeah, definitely. There's times I just like smashed my finger in between my thing here.
Sorry, we missed it.
For sure. There's like if you're riding it improperly, in the wrong gear, yes, a normal chain is not meant for it. But once you get about a couple hundred miles under your belt, you learn the basics of shifting and stuff. Generally, a basic chain is fine. It's going to last you a couple thousand miles if you're maintaining it and you're shifting right. Even on a mid-drive, even like a 1500 watt mid-drive.
What about the cassette? So like I just changed my cassette on my bike.
Cassette should also be lasting a couple thousand miles. I guess
I had that for.
You got like almost 1,500 miles on yours, but your bike was clattering for a while. So the thing is, you want to nip it in the bud. If you're hearing any noise back there, if you don't nip it in the bud, it's going to start eating away at stuff.
It's my fault.
Well,
it's my fault.
You probably could have nipped your.
Should have nipped it in the bud.
Yeah, you definitely could have. But yeah, I mean, even so, a new cassette is what, $30, $40?
Let's see. We got 6:51 p.m. right now. Do you want to let's open the phone lines in case. Do you want to do that?
Yeah, no? Open up the phone lines. We got 10 more minutes, so let's.
And I guess we started 5 minutes.
That's true. We could go a little. We'd do a little bonus time.
We do have like a buddy coming. I don't know if he's gonna be sitting out there. I forgot to pull up the phone line, so it's gonna take me a second. So you can.
Okay.
But
anyway, so yeah, I mean, we could still talk about that.
Somebody said that they built which one?
That's the Centauron or whatever. I think that they're.
Oh,
when I saw it, I was like, the price just it didn't excite me at the price. At $3,000, it didn't excite me at the price. If it was like $21.99, I might be like, oh, okay. If it was $19.99, I'd be like, okay, now you got something that I think you're gonna move. But at $3,000, it's just, I don't know. For a smaller battery, smaller motor, I'd want to know where that money is going to. I know how much an Enviolo. You could easily look up how much an Enviolo setup costs. I mean, you could easily see all this information. How much watt hours you should be paying? Probably no more than 50 cents a watt hour.
It's worth a shot, I guess, from a business perspective. If you've got something that's kind of unique, might as well put the price tag on it and see. I mean,
try it. But I would do it.
And I mean, the only voice out there telling other people not to do it is, us, or like maybe not us, but like there's to the regular consumers, right? They're not hearing the other options when they see something that's new and it's available, and because like that bike is kind of it's like, I don't know, out of its time a little bit. Want to take this call? Is this James Harrison?
Is it?
I don't know. Let's find out.
Call from
Liam.
Okay.
To accept, press 1. To send.
Hey, Liam, you're on JNO Live.
Hey.
Hey, what's up?
Hey.
What's going on? How can we help you?
Not help. I was on YouTube and I came across this bike that had a mid-drive and a hub motor.
Yeah, dual motor.
Cool.
I was wondering if you think that's too much? That's overkill?
In general, yes, but in certain applications it can be helpful. Especially if the hub motor is in the rear wheel. Where was the hub motor on that one?
In the rear wheel.
Because then here's the problem with that is that you got two motor sources putting double the power to one wheel. It would make more sense if you had a front hub motor and a mid-drive. Then it kind of makes more sense. But even then, it's only if you need all-wheel drive. If you have poor traction, then all-wheel drive makes sense. But a rear hub motor and a mid-drive doesn't make a whole lot of sense. I would just say maybe get... I mean, it kind of does if you have a very specific need for it, but in general, I would just say get a more powerful mid-drive. You know, and get the same amount of power using less power, because using two motors needs an incredible amount of amps, and most batteries can't put out that, so a lot of times you're running two batteries. It starts to get very inefficient.
What's the short answer? Yeah, it's too much.
Yeah, yes. The short answer is yes, but I go into.
I would say no. Like that sounds awesome and fun, and like if you have the right battery capacity or whatever, it sounds like
I think it's good for a YouTube video for like a novelty, to get clicks and stuff. But you know, if I was designing something to be efficient and to be like, okay, I'm using my brain to do this, to design it. No, it doesn't make sense for most things. Unless you're looking for like a dune buggy to like climb up dune hills, then I would say, yeah, maybe let's get a dual motor system, but the hub motor better be up front.
Liam, are you thinking about buying this bike?
No.
No, okay.
No. But I don't, if you wanted to do it, you could do it though, right?
Oh yeah, I mean for sure.
Well, you could have two hub motors and a mid-drive.
Yeah, you could do that. You could do tri. You could
have
motors
a trike, right, with
more wheels, more
wheels.
hubs in there.
Yeah.
The problem though is that let's say you got two motors that are each pulling, let's just say 30 amps. That's 60 amps. A lot of batteries are not going to be able to support a 60 amp thing. So you need to have two batteries, and you also got to figure out, is the controller going to be able to handle 60 amps? Otherwise, then you got to have two controllers. You got to have like two displays per each motor system, two throttles. It starts becoming like I don't know, picturing that like flying machine with like flapping wings.
So like for
and,
utility
levers.
purposes, not great, but talking points, it'll get attention. You'll have stuff to talk about with other e-bike enthusiasts.
Yeah, I mean,
People be checking you out. You'll get some looks.
If you're an advanced engineer and you know exactly how to get like a good controller and a big battery, and you could run both systems off of one controller and using splitters and things, but that's definitely a very advanced build. Like, definitely a very advanced build. So unless you're like you have a master's in engineering.
Do you have your master's, Liam?
No.
An engineer.
I would say that no.
It was cool.
Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah.
Go ahead. What do you say?
No, yeah, it was cool. I think it was on the Surround though. I mean, no, Super 73.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I get that because I've had a lot of people bring me their Super 73s, and then they end up not wanting to do it because they're like, I'm gonna keep this boat anchor of a motor in there. So they probably just left it there. I wonder if that if they still had that, if it was still powered up. But yeah, the short answer is no. It's more of a novelty. It's not really worth it, in my opinion.
It's not okay.
So,
you know about David Brand New?
What?
He's a YouTuber.
Who?
David Brand New.
No.
He makes parts for the e-bikes.
Okay.
I'll note it down. David Burning?
David Brand New.
Oh, David Brand New.
Yeah.
I'll look him up.
All right. Well, cool. Well, hey, thanks for sharing that. That was a good point. I get asked that a lot too, and I think a lot of people think about it. Like, hey,
thanks for calling.
Yeah, thanks, man. Yeah, like the dual motors and doing all that stuff. I mean, sometimes it makes sense. In my opinion, though, it really only makes sense in the all-wheel drive setup, though.
So Penguin said that they saw two hub motors and a mid-drive on a bike, and they lived in the UK, so all the motors were limited to 250 watts.
Wait, say it again?
So three motors, right? Two hub and one mid-drive.
Oh, I see.
And they were all limited to 250 watts.
Okay, so I guess legally, though, that's still like, I think 750 watt. I think, because you have totally, if you add them all up, you have 750 watts flowing at any given time. So I don't know, but I guess they're. Yeah, I see. Yeah, dude stuff. I think I saw one of his. He made a video about why mid drives suck and why hub motors are awesome. And I was like, all right.
Dude stuff.
Yeah, I was like, I guess we just kind of differ.
Can we? We have a couple minutes. Can we just bash on mid drives for a little bit?
if you want to.
Like, what's the worst thing about mid drives?
Breaking chains and you have to shift.
When you have to shift.
You have to shift. But I like shifting.
Yeah, I do too.
I like riding my bike, so that's the argument that other people say.
I'm trying to think what would suck. I mean, like, I don't know. I guess just with doing a conversion, obviously you got some wires hanging around. It looks a little like janky.
Yeah, but with a hub motor, you got wires coming out. You got to mount the controller somewhere. It looks.
So if it's a pre-built, at least they're.
Oh, they're inside the frame.
They're inside the frame.
But then you got like an extra 10, 15 pounds.
We're bashing on mid-drives.
But my brain always kicks back in, and I'm like, wait, but now you got 10, 15 extra pounds of frame needed to hide that stuff. I'd rather have it lightweight and look a little Frankenstein-y than it like looking nice but not performing worth a crap. I'd rather it perform like awesome and maybe look a little bit.
And sometimes
I'm not about looks.
Those hub motors, they could be a little bit stealthier because they're like hidden in the wheel.
Yeah.
And with the mid-drives, you got this motor just dangling.
Yeah.
You got this dangling motor.
Not that one dude, Darren, he just showed his Electra. He can't even see the thing.
Well, it's all about the
camera
angles.
I know.
Yeah.
Well, you know all about taking pictures with good angles.
Yeah.
They're
good for lazy people.
Yeah. A Penguin, you're going off. She's got too many.
Destroying your drivetrain. Slow. Do mid-drives have slow? I don't know. Is Penguin talking about mid-drives or?
I think so. Well, no, I don't know.
Hubs are crap when you have a puncture.
Yeah, that's for sure.
Woody Wong says if you have to replace a wheel on a bike already and also want to convert to an e-bike, then it seems like it might make sense. That's true. Yeah. So if your back wheel is screwed and you could just go buy a new wheel and then you get an e-bike and a new wheel.
So we got a bike into the shop news. A guy brought it in to convert it. His rear wheel it looked like when you spun it, it was like,
yeah.
I'm like, man, I'm going to try to true it, but you might have a bent rim. There might be only some, I'm going to try to get it as true as possible. He wanted to go with the front hub motor. He didn't want to have to, he had major mobility issues. He didn't want to have to rely on a drivetrain at all. He wanted it to be totally bulletproof. Yeah. So we decided, okay, I think a hub motor probably is best. But we decided he wanted a front one, but I was like, if you do the rear, we're going to be killing two birds with one stone. Your wheel is probably shot. So, yes, if you have something like that, too, it could, I don't know.
Yeah, no, that's a good point.
Somebody sent me, actually my 2.7 rep sent me the Grin. I guess there's a new, I should have told you about that to add to your news thing. There's a new geared hub motor that is supporting Regen.
Do you want to save this for next?
Yeah, we could. Maybe we could talk about it in 2 weeks.
Gear. So there was a comment that I was going to talk about that I forgot about. What was he calling it? Regenerative braking. Is that a thing?
Yeah. But usually those are only found on direct drive hub motors, so it allows you to have regen. It just turns your motor into an alternator. I mean, it just kind of switches gears, and then as it's spinning, it's creating energy instead of spending it. But I guess, for a long time, geared motors were never able to do regen. So I don't know 100% about that. We could do some research about it.
But what were you saying?
What do you mean?
you were saying something else about 2.7's something motor.
No, my rep just sent me a letter about Grin. I had a video up this morning, I think it was this morning or yesterday, about geared hub motors that could support regen.
Gotcha. So what were you talking about?
I'm
just joking. I posted our Discord link, I guess. I don't know why the Discord link changes often, but there it is. So
Vix, what are you talking about? DIY bike frames.
You come in here talking about these bike frames.
Oh, wait, is that a real thing? Is there actual DIY? I know the Vector frames are kind of like DIY frames, but is that an actual thing, or what are you talking about?
What the hell are you talking about? You walk up in here talking about.
Yeah, what are you talking? No, but I'm like, is that a real thing? As I would love that.
DIY bike. I mean, I guess anything could be DIY.
Yeah, I know. It's true.
Maybe he's just saying, hey,
just do it yourself.
Build your own
frame.
Yeah.
Building your own frame is a little difficult, I will say. It's making your the triangle. I was just thinking about this.
Maybe you're talking about like just buying the frame and buying just all the components and building it yourself.
You can.
Oh,
You're
frames. You're saying the frames.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, frames are difficult. Making the chain stays and the seat stays and making all that line up. I made one with my friend Sean, and Sean he did all the designing. Like, I can't even take credit for it. He did all the whatever designing of it. It's getting that AutoCAD stuff. After that, I was like, I want to learn AutoCAD because you can see how powerful it is. But getting everything lined up and everything, and coming down to you do a lot of the designing, but then a lot of it just comes down to, all right, this is what we designed on here. Now it's just go and cut it and grinding out the angles and then just welding it together. But
why put a hub motor on short spokes that are barely crossed and not laced, carrying nearly all your weight, most of the bike's weight, and everything you carry? That's a comment by Mark Hendricks. It's 7:05 p.m. Do we want to?
Yeah, let's call it. But no, that's a great point, Mark, and that's why we just replaced a spoke on and then that exact thing.
Quantum really likes cottonmouth motor, and probably will work with that and call it good. You want to?
All right. Start? Yeah, I think we're gonna call it. But appreciate everybody chiming in and tuning in and calling in. Thank you, Liam, and thank you for thanks for bringing in your ideas and all that stuff.
Hit the like button if you haven't. Subscribed if you're not subscribed. And that's it.
Yeah, if you're into this. Yeah, and have a good night, everybody.
And don't be this guy.